The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
It's Friday night, people, and we're live. I'm here with my man, Matt Coppin. It's been a while. Matt, my man, how you doing? Long time.
Yeah, really good, man. Really good. Excited, anticipated, nervous, all in one.
Yeah. It's only a couple of days away now. Do you know what, right, Matt? I've got to say, right. I just don't know what to make of any fan at the moment. I've heard from the extremes of Spurs are going to smash Arsenal. Arsenal are going to destroy Spurs 5-1. It's going to be a close game. There's only one goal in it. One team's going to bottle it. This player's not as good as everyone makes out. I'm hearing so many different views and opinions. I can't tell the difference between who actually means what they're saying, who's actually applying common sense, who's just trying to bait the other person into a reaction, who's just gone way overboard and just forgets anything from reality, and who's just being really genuine. I can't make out anything. And I don't, you know what? And I've never known a North London derby like this where I've got no idea where anyone's realistically at in terms of a genuine opinion on this. I'm
Yeah.
I don't know. What have you seen, Matt? What have you seen out there?
So, obviously, most people are going to back their team. So, most Arsenal fans are going to obviously expect Arsenal to win, and depends on what extreme of the result. As you say, 5-0, 3-1, whatever the number is. So, everybody is going to try and defend their team. But I think there's the unknown, which is Postecoglou's first North London derby. There's a lot of players making their debut, so there's a lot of unknowns. How will some of these Tottenham players away from home, in barring Man City, the toughest, you could argue Anfield as well, but the toughest fixture away from home, barring, even though we do quite well against Man City, but on paper. So there's so many unknowns. I think that's might be a little bit of nervousness as well, because we are playing well. You know, if you go back to the Nuno start, we were nicking games. You know, it was dour, but we were nicking them 1-0. But I don't think many Spurs fans were convinced with how we were playing. Whereas this time round, it's a joy to watch. So I think my approach is be there, be calm, be quiet, and I hope we surprise them. I really, really hope we surprise them on the day.
Could I listen? I want to be honest with you, Matt. Right? I actually, and I don't mean this in a bad way, as if I don't support Tottenham, but I actually don't care what happens on Sunday, as long as we give the game a real go. Right, let me just bring in Rathish. Big up, Rathish. Thanks for joining us. I'm not excited, but I'm not scared. I'm just very calm. I'm going into this very chilled out.
Yeah.
And I haven't got carried away. I haven't got caught up by it. On the day, even if it's going against us, but I can see we're really trying, I'll be all right with that. I honestly, I only care to see whether Spurs turn up or not, because if we don't turn up, right, if we don't go to the Emirates and give a really good account of ourselves, that's really, really going to piss me off, because that says to me that there's a fundamental problem with these players and it won't get fixed. That means the players are fundamentally flawed. There's a flaw even in the new players, because Ange will get them rallied. The experienced players like Son, Romero, even Maddison. He's got Premier League experience. They will know. You know, they're our leaders. They're our captains. Those three. They will get the team, you know, going for it. So if we don't turn up, I'm literally, what is the point? Like, nothing's going to change then.
Yeah, I think one of Postecoglou's early interviews, he was very keen to stress about they're going in a different way. They're going in a different direction. The recruitment is different. And he was very keen to make sure that the new players, they don't have that baggage. You know, they've not been here before. They've not been in a kind of a North London defeat. So I'm hoping that we just play with this. I'm hoping we just play with this kind of almost kind of abandonment. We don't think about, yes, it's an Arsenal derby, but we just play it like it's a normal match. We stick to our principles. I really think we're going to surprise them. If they press, if they really come after us, I think that will play into our hands. If we can get through that first couple of minutes where we look a bit nervous when we're playing it out from the back, if we get through that first, whatever the number is, and we start to break that press on Basuma or Van der Ven or Udoji, just break the press, I think we could be for a really, really good performance. But there is that unknown. Will the occasion get to us? Will we play the occasion and not the match? So there's all these anomalies that we won't know till the actual game kicks off. We don't know how they will perform under the lights.
Rafish, how you doing, mate? Long time. You good?
I'm good still, thank you. How are you? How are you, Matthew? Yeah, thanks for
Really
having
good,
me on.
man. Really good.
How do you see this? If we lose the game, but Spurs give it a really good go and we come close, will you be content with that, or is it a case of, you know, we just can't lose this?
You look at it in so many different ways, because Sunday, you know, especially before the game itself, it's always going to be nerves. Like, especially to the North London derby, like whether it's home game or away game. Like, from our perspective, we just, you know, just to back up on what Matthew's saying, like, it depends on how we get on in the first 15, 20 minutes or so. Like, if we get through it unscathed, then Arsenal are there to be got at, but we know that they'll have their 12th man, like the fans will get by their side. And also to take into consideration, we've had a whole week to prepare. Like, our last league game was the previous Saturday against Sheffield United, whereas they had to play in midweek against PSV. So the players need to give it all for the fans. And, you know, what you said still, like, if we lose the game, but if we give 100%, let's say their goalkeeper has a worldie or we missed chance after chance, as long as the effort's there, that's all you can ask for. But if we turn up on Sunday and perform like we have done in the past seasons, like no fight, no design, nothing, then Spurs fans have every right to be vexed about it. So it's about finding the balance, you know, going to Sunday.
So a lot of Arsenal fans are getting ahead of themselves and they're just being a little bit too cocky. For example, this fraudulent Gooner here. If you come out to play, this will be the easiest North London derby ever, 5-1, right? Do you think there's any truth in this? If Spurs go out there and just really attack, that the space will leave him behind, they'll batter us? Because let's be honest, Brentford got in behind quite a few times and they actually missed an open goal and they could have won it 3-2. Yeah. So Burnley got in behind twice and they scored 2 against us. Man United got in behind a few times with crosses and they missed their headers. So if we go to the Emirates, the second best team in the land, and we do that, are we going to get a hiding, or do you not see it that way?
I think with what I think in terms of that, like, you know, it goes back to my earlier point. It's about how we set up formation wise. Like in the past, like whenever we go to a top 6 ground away from home, like your Liverpools, your Man Cities, United, etc., like Arsenal, like if we play a high line, and I think with Ange, like he's got to try keep it solidified. Because if we play a high line, players like your Odegaard who can pull strings. Saka, even though he's not hit top gear this season, he'll still be able to cause our defensive backline issues. And with the Arsenal fans getting ahead of themselves, like, to be fair, it could apply to our fans, not all of us, but some of us, like some of our own fans, if that makes sense. Like some people saying, oh, we've had, we could be in a title race, etc., after the Arsenal Liverpool games, providing we win. But with me, I always take it one at a time. Like, it's both sets of fan bases. Like, some of them get too giddy for their liking. Like, I mean, the way I see it is we've had a fantastic start to the season. I've said it previously that the Arsenal and Liverpool games will determine how far we have come under Ange in such a short space of time. Because, I mean, I just, you don't want to cross a line. You don't want to cross the line in terms of being overconfident and big-headed, because this could potentially bite you on the backside. And one more thing is that what really irks me the most is that rival fans are saying, oh, we haven't played anyone significant. Like, at the end of the day, you can only beat us put in front of you. I've seen on TalkSport, I'm not going to name that person, but he should be worried about his own team being mid-table. He's saying that fans are getting giddy about Spurs. They haven't played anyone significant. Like, here's the thing. We can only beat us put in front of us. Like,
yeah, yes, but Ratish, my response to that is, who have Arsenal played that's significant in the Premier League?
That's what I was going to say. That's what I'm going to say, yeah. Arsenal, Chelsea, they've had an easier set of fixtures. Look where they are now. So, but again, they're not mentioning that because he doesn't fit their narrative. All they want to do is just get
Is this Rory Jennings? Was it Rory Jennings?
Yeah, you just said it. Yes.
Yeah, but he's a hater of Spurs. Even when he's on a platform where he's supposed to show balance, he's incapable of doing it, and that channel entertains it because they know it will trigger fans into calling in and going on the comments. It drags an audience. He's a clickbait merchant, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, of course.
He at the start of last season said that Haaland is overrated and won't score more than 10 goals. How embarrassingly awful is his brain when it comes to football? So Rory Jennings, just that's that pinch of salt, just whatever.
Of course, yeah. Just take with it.
He doesn't know football. All he knows is Roman Abramovich, who bought everything. Now Roman's gone. You've got your Chelsea back, because that's what Chelsea were like before Roman. Matt, let me ask you something. Sorry, I can't stand Roy Jennings. Is not someone I enjoy listening to. Matt, let me ask you, right? If Spurs go to Arsenal and play the way we've been playing this season, and we really go for it, and we do have a high line, are we going to get pumped? Are we asking for trouble?
It's risk and reward. There is an element, if we are not switched on when we haven't got the ball, and if we leave too many gaps, there is that potential. But I would like to think that we will cause enough problems for them that it will be an equal swing. So I think both teams will have their spell of kind of causing a threat and causing potential damage. But yeah, Arsenal are a top team, so it would be naive for any Spurs fan to think that there is that element of they kind of beat the offside trap a couple of times and they're one-on-one. It could end up in the back of our net. But I would like to think on the equal side of the coin, we could also cause the same problem to them. So I like the idea of let them talk themselves up. Let's all the pundits back Arsenal, all the experts back Arsenal, and we just quietly this week go about our business, work on our plan, and execute it in the game. So, yeah, the motto is to dare is to do. So let's go for it. The result will be the result, but the swing in how we are playing is off the scale. In 3 months, he's got us in such a style and a pattern of play that I think we're going to cause problem. I really do think we're going to cause problems. Whether that ends up being us winning the match or drawing, that's in the lap of the gods. But I think I've seen enough to think that we will have a say in that game.
See, what makes me laugh is you look at a team like Man City who just go after everyone. Yeah, over the past few years, Spurs have been a bit more defensive against Man City, and we've picked off Man City and we've beaten them. We always seem to find a way to beat City, right? But yet, Man City's way over the longevity of a season wins them everything. So I agree with you. It's risk and reward. Take the risk and keep taking the risk. And as long as you're not like Leeds United, who are incapable of defending, right? Bielsa ball, which was insane attacking, because there's like no respect to being a defensive unit at any stage of the game. You look at Man City, they lose a couple of games a year because they take the risk. But 95% of the time, it's pure reward. And I think that's basically got to be the Spurs mentality now, isn't it? We'll lose 3, 4, 5 games, but look, we can win most of them or draw, not lose.
We beat Man City last season, right? We beat Man City last season, and then we were 2-0 up in the other game, and we lost that, whatever the score was. But we finished 8th. So for me, Postecoglou's about, the full picture. He's designing a way that we're going to play. All the players have bought into it. The fans have bought into it. We may get our nose bloodied a few times in a couple of matches, but for the greater good, we're going on the right path. And I think we'll give a good account of ourselves, regardless of the result. I don't think there can be many Arsenal fans that can't look at Spurs now and say, we're a threat, we're dangerous. And that's all I can hope for. As long as we can put our stamp on that match, regardless of the result, after 6 football matches, 5 in the league and 1 in the cup, to have such a swing in how we play, I'm going there and I'm fairly optimistic. Regardless of the result, I'm optimistic that we're going to put a dent in that game in some way.
Maury, what do you make of this comment, right? Spurs' problem is they allow so many chances. A clinical team will hurt you. We do allow a few chances, but the thing is, if we allow a team 10 chances, it's because we've created 30.
Yeah.
So
I'll be fair balanced. I would say that's a fair statement, because the Brentford game, I'll use that as an example. We had our chances. Brentford had their chances. United had their chances. And so it's almost like we're going to get our chances to be able to score. But like I said, our team is a work in progress. Even with the defense, we're going to give chances. And so, yeah, when we play a team like Man City or Liverpool, yeah, they will hurt us. And we have the capability of hurting them. And so he's not wrong with that comment, to be honest. He's not wrong with that comment. That is the reason why I have the prediction 3-3. I have us drawing at the Emirates, which for me it's a positive. It's a good result going in there for the position where our team is. And like I said in TJ's channel, for me, my goal this season was to see progress. No matter where we saw progress, meaning, okay, what is our identity? Okay, we're going to be an attacking team, and seeing those pieces, and then seeing how the team will continue to grow to the point of, okay, next summer, what is Daniel Levy and the board going to do to continue this process, right? And so that's, how I view the game. I want to see progress. I want to see, okay, what type of team that we're going to be when we play our first difficult match, Arsenal, Liverpool. And that's what I want to see. So I'm looking more of that rather than the results. Now, if we win, I'm popping champagne bottles. I'm celebrating. But for me, I'm content to see the direction. And that's what I want to see. Because last season, I'll be honest, it was just kind of like, I don't know where we're going to go from here. Rather than now revenge, at least there's a hope for me. Okay, this is the type of team we're going to be. All right, this is how we're going to improve, the players that we have currently and what we may need to supplant Ange's vision for the team.
This makes me laugh. Your attack doesn't scare me. Only Son's capable of scoring. We're the second highest goal scorers in the Premier League. I just think I don't know whether I'm overestimating what we're doing and that we can actually go to Arsenal and maybe get a draw, or that Arsenal fans have completely underestimated us. I don't know. I don't know where.
But you know, Stelly, it's almost like the start of last season. So you know, because Arsenal sneaked up on people. You know, the start of last season, nobody talked about Arsenal. You know, in the top two. It was more of a conversation who out of Arsenal and Spurs will finish in the top four. And first game, Crystal Palace away, no one expected them to win and they got a win. And then slowly but surely, the win started to become an everyday occurrence for them. And they sneaked up on people. And I'm just quietly hoping, maybe not to the same consistency of Arsenal last season, but I'm quietly hoping that we'll be the underestimated team this season. And we just sneak up on people. And everyone keeps writing us off. They haven't played anybody. We played Man U. You know, second game of the season. And on paper, our record against Man U hasn't been great recently. And I think that result kind of gets brushed. You haven't played anybody yet. Well, we played Man United and beat them 2-0. So just let everybody keep talking us down. Just quietly go about our business. 4 results become 5 results. All of a sudden, we're unbeaten in 6.
Rapish.
Yeah.
We've all seen this script before. Spurs are the better team, play Arsenal early and everything crumbles. Correct me if I'm wrong. This has happened the last 3 seasons. Right. He's got a point. However, is it different this time? Or is it, no, this happens all the time. You just get way ahead of yourself, Spurs fans.
I mean, with that comment itself from Vibath, like saying that Spurs fans, you know, we have the better team in the past, and then come unstuck when we go to Arsenal away. But with me, like, you know, it's easy to take a small sample size and run with it. You know, say, oh, we're back all of a sudden. But right now, we got a manager like Matthew's saying, like, you know, he's built the connection. You know, he's trying to get fans on side now. That's what he's done already. You know. And I watched this interview with Gary Lineker on the iPlayer in full. So ahead of the derby, he's saying about what his vision for Spurs itself proves to be like going forward. And he's saying that, you know, he wants to make it as a complete package, you know, not just challenging for trophies, but also try and bridge the gap at the top table. Like, that's resonating with me, because whenever you see him in interviews and press conferences, like, he doesn't throw people under the bus. You know, he's saying all the right things. You know, he was aware of the fact our star striker left for Bayern, you know, and we can all agree that no one's bigger than the football club. So as far as we're concerned, I mean, we look like a different proposition already. But like I said, the Arsenal-Liverpool games will still be a test. Even if we don't win the next 2, as long as you see what we're trying to do, like the style of play, if the 100% effort and performance is there, that's all you can ask for. You know, we're not expecting miracles. You know, when we need to stop putting unnecessary pressure on ourselves, because it's his first season. Let him put his stamp on the team, and then if we get to January with little to no injuries and hopefully get some centre backs in, then hopefully we'll be all right. So yeah, just one at a time for us.
Rapish, did you reject me to not come back on the show?
No, far from it. No. Why would I reject? You know.
No, do you know what happened? When the first time you come on the show, right? You don't remember. Like, in Cube, she spotted it, and it's a personal joke. Basically, when I said, Rafish, at the end, you said, right, I've got to go, guys. I said, Rafish, if you don't mind, I'd like to have you back on the show. Is it possible I can take your number and I can get in contact with you? And you went, nah. And you left. You just went, no. And you left the show. I was just standing there like this.
Yeah. No, big up Cubes, by the way. Big up. No, listen, I mean, like I said, you know, keep up the amazing work for sure. Yeah, just a comment there from Sean, just to address it. I mean, I take the point. I mean, it comes back to what I've said. He wants to say the right things. He's not going to be negative just for the sake of it. Like obviously we're all aware that he needs backing from upstairs and so on and so forth. But yeah, other than that, all cool.
Guys, we've got 120 odd people watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell, tell your friends, your family, your dog, your pet fish, and anyone else who is a Spurs fan. So, should we? In fact, let's not do a combined 11 because I can't be bothered to go around the table and then it just takes forever. Let me show you my combined 11. Let me just be selfish. Tell me what you think. Right? I think I've been pretty fair with it. I've based it not just on this season, but just over time, what I think, right? This would be my combined 11 if I was being fair. I'd have Raya in goal because he's got Premier League experience of over 4 years, and I think he's better than Ramsdale. Vicario's only been here like 5 games. My back two is Romero and Saliba. My wing backs are Udogie and Ben White. In midfield, I've gone Bissouma, Maddison, Odegaard. I think Bissouma's had a better season than Declan Rice. And look, by every metric, the pink lines are Bissouma. He's outperformed Declan Rice. I know they're slightly different players, but he's outperformed him. So that's why I've gone for Bissouma over Rice. But the front three, I've gone Saka, Son, and Trossard. Now, would any of you change anything in that? Is there anything there that you would change? I think Arsenal, I put 6 Arsenal players, 5 Spurs. Would you guys change anything in that?
No. Hold on. That's what I had last night.
Because Matt's thinking. I could tell Matt will.
No, I can see exactly still what I can see what you did. Yeah, I understand. I'm just not sure about Son and Gabriel Jesus.
Oh my God! We're now going to get Will Stewart and Cubed giving us 1 hour of complaint.
I'm not sure.
Oh, now you've done it. You've done it.
I'm not sure. In actual
fact,
fact,
so what are you saying? You'd swap Son out and put Jesus in? Is that what you're saying?
No, I would move, and I'm not sure I'd play Son down the middle.
All right. So
yeah,
who's your front three?
Put your sheet back up. Did you have Son in the middle and Trossard on the right? So
Son as a striker. Yeah.
Right. So I would take out Trossard. I know he scored a good goal, but I would take Trossard out and I would put Son wide and I'd put Jesus down the middle.
Yeah. Son wide where? On the right?
Yeah, because Saka plays right, doesn't he?
Saka plays on the left, doesn't he?
No, Saka plays on the right. He cuts in on his left, doesn't he?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So you're right. Yeah. Okay. So Saka on one side and then Son on the. Okay.
Yeah. So I would put Son on the left. I'd put Saka where Trossard is. I'd put Jesus down the middle, and I'm not sure Ben White over Porro. Right.
So Son stays in the team. That means we're not going to get complaints. Good. What about you, Murray? What about you, Murray? Porro or Ben White?
I said
bear in mind, Murray, bear in mind, the wing back also has to defend as well as attack.
Well, yeah, that's why I went with Ben White yesterday because of the balance. I love Porro going forward. Ben White's not too shabby going forward, but I trust Ben White more going back than Porro. Though Porro is doing good, but I'm saying I trust Ben White more than Porro, so I will go with Ben White.
What about you, Ratish? Ben White or Porro?
I think, when you're playing at right back or right wing back, you have to find, you have to do 2 jobs at the same time, whether in terms of not only going forward in an attacking aspect, but also go back and defend. So, I mean, I'm going to slightly lean towards Ben White for that instead of Pedro Porro. I think Porro can fix up his defending, then he'll be in the same ballpark. But for now, we'll go with Ben White. And looking at your combined 11, I mean, I would pretty much agree. The only thing I slightly disagree is probably Declan Rice over Bazuma, and the reason being is because Bazuma's had a fantastic start to this season, without a doubt, I think. But last season he hasn't had game time. He has. You take into consideration the injuries. Whereas I'm basing it since the start of last season. So Declan Rice, because of what he'd done at West Ham, got helped them winning a European trophy. I know he's had an up and down start with Arsenal, but then he popped up a
All right,
goal.
Rathish, let me counter that.
Go on.
I've never seen Declan Rice for West Ham go to the Emirates and boss a midfield. Yeah, I've seen Basuma in a Brighton shirt go to the Emirates, run riot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
And
Yeah.
I will say this. I will say this because people. I don't want to go with maybe because he's English or whatsoever. Rice is a good player. I would have him on my team. But the way people talk, dude, he's not like I can name 10 people at his position on all of Europe that's better than Declan Rice, especially for that price that they paid. I know they had to pay that price. Like Declan Rice does everything good, but he's not for me like spectacular. He jumps off the pitch, man. Declan Rice, I just he does not do. At least with Basuma, like I'm like, damn, like this guy's boss in this game. Like I've seen Basuma, Brighton, and now what we're seeing this year, really boss. Whereas Declan Rice, yeah, oh man, yeah, he's good, he's solid, but he's not like like people are putting Rice like he's like Casemiro. It's just like
it's just silly, man. It's silly.
Yeah, I just like for me.
I don't get this. Look at this. West Ham played differently to Brighton, so it's unfair. So it wasn't unfair when Declan Rice helped them win the European Conference League. Then you weren't moaning then. That's nitpicking for me. And to say Rice contributes with goals, other than a deflected shot that ricocheted off a Man United player and snuck into the goal,
known for
what goal was it Declan Rice scored? I don't get it. It is. It's great English hype. I think they're just hyping him up because he's English. I think Declan Rice is a really, really, really good player. But what I've seen, but if you give Basuma a ball and you give Rice a ball, one is just a positional player. The other one is a baller. Basuma is a baller, man. He is a total footballer, man. Yeah. I'm struggling with this. And I'm not being biased because I put... And I'm not even being biased about this Basuma thing because I put more Arsenal players in my starting 11 than Spurs. So this isn't about being biased. I just don't get how people think Rice is better than Basuma. I think
I laugh when people.
What are they basing it on? I don't understand.
The England national team. Oh well, we got Declan Rice in there.
Clutch winning goals. It was a deflected ricochet.
I'm like,
he didn't even. It was going wide. The ball was going wide.
Now, Bellingham is one of the best midfielders in the world, and he's English. Yeah. Bellingham is that dude. He is baller. But if I'm going to a Real Madrid fan or anybody who's maybe not a Premier League fan, I talk to them about Declan Rice. They're looking at me like, oh, there goes another guy overhyping an English player. Okay, yeah, Declan Rice. Like honestly, I would take, well, like I said, now he's playing in the Middle East and Barcelona was a bad fit for him. I want to take, trust me, easily take Kessie over Rice. Easily. I just think people overhype Rice too much. I'm like, nah.
Mario, I think he's a good player. Like, I remember in the Carabao Cup a couple of years ago, we beat West Ham at our ground 2-1. And I thought Declan Rice was one of the best players on the pitch that night, even though West Ham lost, right? That I actually took an Arsenal fan with me because he wanted to see the stadium and he wanted to just see what it's all about. And he said to me as well after the game, Declan Rice was a really good player tonight. And I said, yeah, I agree. I think Rice is a really, really good player, but I just think when I've watched Basuma this year, he glides past players, he turns players, his like through balls are on point. Yeah. And you know what? My worry, Rathish, with Basuma this season was, I don't know about defensive duties, but defensively, He's been breaking up play, winning tackles. He's surprised me. That side of his game, I'm actually surprised. He's a lot stronger than what I realized. I never thought he was like physically strong, but he is.
And that's the thing with Basuma. Go on, Murray, go on.
No, just quickly say that is one of the City. City actually drove the price up so Arsenal could pay. I just think City was just kicking the tires. They weren't seriously. I agree with big up Saba. I agree with Saba in regards to City wasn't really interested in Declan Rice. They were kicking the tires to see if they could get him as a squad player on their team. They weren't really serious about Declan Rice, in my opinion.
Dude, it's comments like this. Rice wasn't overhyped when City wanted him, and Basuma wasn't overhyped when you wanted him. Arsenal wanted Basuma. Lee Judges was an Arsenal fan TV singing Basuma. You know he's a good.
I remember that.
And then when we came in and took him, there was a meltdown on that channel. 1.5 million subscribers went into meltdown. Where's the balance, man? There's no balance to this comment.
I was going to say quickly, like with Basuma, like he's the best definition of giving somebody a second chance. Like at Spurs, like last season, obviously he hasn't had game time, has injury problems, and obviously off the field last summer. But with a new manager, he's looked like I said it a few seconds ago. He looks like a beast. Like he looks like an engine. Like he's enjoying his football. Like at Spurs, I think playing in that double pivot, suits him to a T.
Yeah, I was the previous show I was on. I was saying how there's three types of players. There's players that just do a job. You give them a job, they just do it, right? And they're a steady pair of hands. They're never going to be great, but they're not awful. Ben Davies, for example, steady pair of hands. He's never going to win you anything, but he's not going to be the reason that you lose everything, right? He's a 6, 7 out of 10. Then you've got players that are versatile, like Harry Kane. Any system, any formation, any manager, club or country, he will deliver. He will do his job because he's versatile. He can adapt. Then you've got players like Basuma. He's got to be in a team that plays a certain way. And if he's put in that team, he will be a standout player. He will be levels. And I just feel that he's one of those players. And just like Brighton, we're playing possession-based attacking football. And that. It's almost like you watch a player playing possession-based attacking football, so you scout them, and then you make them come and play in a completely different way. Well, why did you scout them then? Like, what were you scouting exactly? Academies do that as well, and then they drop the player out the academy 6 months later, and then I end up having a row with the academy coach saying, well, why did you scout him? You scouted him as an attacking mid, and you're telling him to play wing-back. Of course he's failed at your academy. You've absolutely screwed the player over here. So I think Basuma's... You're gone, Matt.
No, go on. Finish off, though.
No, that was it.
Yeah, I think what separates Basuma from the majority of midfielders is he's press resistant. So it's hard to pin him down. With most of midfielders, if you want to call it a 6 or a 7 or whatever, with their back to goal, they play what they see. I think what separates Basuma, and he's got that Moussa Dembele about him, that with his back to goal, he can still on the half turn beat the press. So he's a very unique footballer, and they're hard to find in the current modern football. Players that he just takes 2 or 3 players out the game in one motion. That's a unique, and he's very deceptively quick. So once he wrong foots you, he's past you. And all of a sudden, the structure of the opposing team, all their best laid plans are gone because he beats the press, and then he's into your final third. So some of the comments people are writing saying it's hard to compare Rice with Basuma because he's multifaceted, Basuma. He's good on the ball. He's strong in the tackle. He does his fair share of defensive work, but he can get the ball in the final third. He's a ball carrier. If you profile most of the top teams in the Premier League, there's very few press-resistant, deep-lying playmakers. So he does a lot of jobs, Basuma. So he's hard to rival. If you go, even Man City, find another player that can do what Basuma does. We had one, maybe 2 seasons. Dembele did it, maybe 2. He's a unique player. He's a very special talent, Basuma. Very special.
The thing is, like this season, when it comes to key passes, Basuma's been better. Progressive passes, Declan Rice is actually slightly better. Duels, they're equal. Defensive actions, Basuma's way ahead of Declan Rice. Carrying the ball, he's 10 out of 10, which is what you said. He's a ball carrier. Forward passes, Declan Rice and him are almost equal. Forward passes as a percentage is almost equal as well. So they're equal in half of the metrics that we look at. But the other half, Basuma has surpassed Declan Rice. And this is based on both players playing 500 minutes of football this season. So
it's like I said on the other channel, TJ's channel, people already, the Jamie Carragher's, the pundits already say, because of how Tottenham's playing, right? It's only August or September, like player of the year candidates. Candidates I'm talking about. Listen, candidates. Basuma is one of the candidates for player of the year in the Premier League so far, because of that impact. He's playing like the bright Basuma that everybody in the Premier League rated for. And now you're seeing it. He's playing like a boss man. He's playing like a boss man right now.
Yeah, he's a unique footballer. We had a glimpse with Bentancur. You know, Bentancur had that 2-month spell where he was doing a little bit of everything. As soon as he's taken that role on, and he's just taken it to another level. If you imagine a fit Bentancur with Basuma, that's a scary 2.
And that's so funny. No, I was just gonna say, right? The same Arsenal fans, or the same ones who I'm just speaking facts, are the same Arsenal fans who wanted him. It was the same Arsenal. When we first got him, was like, oh man, that was a good signing. That was a good signing. Now everybody, Arsenal fans are trying to be revisionist because he's playing good, and Scott's just being negative, because he's a Spur player. But everybody was twerking for Basuma at one point.
Yeah, they were.
They were twerking for him. All these people want to be revisionist because he's balling now. Yeah, I see ya.
I see you. I see you.
Because people being revisionist, like everybody. When we got Basuma, troops would say, and you don't ever say good stuff first. Troops would say, no, you're not being honest. Troops would say, oh man, Spurs did good by getting Basuma. Troops, come on, Scott, man. Bring some context. I love you, bro, but you gotta bring context. Everybody was twerking. He was better than Casado. He was better than Casado at that time at Brighton. The only thing is he had that dodgy court case, and that's how we were able to get him.
And he had 1 year. He had 1 year left on his contract.
He had 1 year left on his contract. Being honest, what? So no, you're lying. Come on, everybody was twerking.
You liar. You fraud.
Yes,
you
I smell
fraud.
BS. I smell it. Troops, Tom Robbie, all of them. Basuma, all of them.
Do you know what? Frankfurt Goon is having a nightmare tonight. I saw Basuma holding the bench last season because Conte didn't trust him. I also saw Maddison getting wait. I also saw Maddison getting relegated last year. Look at him now, right? You can't judge previous teams' managers and then say, right, because of that team and manager, let's now assess the
West Ham was 15th. West Ham was 15th, 16th. They were in regulation. Like, that's why I said people are hypocrites. Yes, they won the Conference League, but they were 15th, 16th.
Kai Havertz. Dude, Kai Havertz.
Come on, man.
Havertz couldn't even score in a brothel so far this season.
Mate, Kai Havertz.
Context. I think people have to have context,
You got to. I know everybody said Basuma. The year he got Basuma, everybody say not only stat wise, like Basuma was one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. And when we got him for Conte, like yes, he didn't fit Conte's system. We'll all get excited because literally Basuma was one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, one of the best. Now because everybody had a nightmare year with Conte. Now he shows true colors. Everybody's like, well, we didn't want Basuma. Well, we didn't rate him. No, everybody was rating him before. Like how people now, like, I don't get it. I do not get it. I do not get it. Especially Arsenal fans, because we knew they wanted him. They knew they wanted him. So
and Maury also, like, the way their fans pipe up, that they're acting like as if they're prime Real Madrid. Like, after their win against PSV, they're saying, oh, we can go all the way and win the Champions League. Like, it's one game.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. Like, do you know, they've been out of it for so long, they've forgotten what it's like. I think they've just... listen, which player of Arsenal do you fear the most? Which player really concerns you, as in, man, we really got to find a way to deal with that player? It could be defensive, midfield, attack, goalie. Which of their players do you think is,
Odegaard.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Odegaard.
You're not worried about Trossard or Saliba maybe being big challenges for us? Or
I mean, Trossard is another danger, to be fair. Like, whenever he starts, he steps up. I think the reason we're saying Odegaard especially is because, he, so far this season, he's performed really well. I think he's pulling the strings in midfield. Like, he's, that the goal he scored against PSV was a banger. Let's, to be fair, that was a screamer. So that's what Odegaard can do. Like, against teams with a low block, he's the sort of player that will create a pass out of nothing, and then the attacking players can thrive on it. So I think Saliba obviously is a reliable defender. I think where the game's going to be won or lost is the midfield, and whichever department, whether it's attack, midfield, defense, all three elements, whichever team performs in all of them, will be likely to get a positive outcome.
Are we all agreeing Odegaard's the one we need to just deal with?
Yeah, and I agree with Adrian. I fear the Gunners at set plays. I don't think people are talking about it enough. McGeaney, I forget the guy's name, was giving Van de Ven problems. Romero has been better in the air this season, but still set pieces still worries me because Arsenal is good at scoring set piece goals. Gabriel, him, Saliba, those guys are set pieces. We got to be careful because
Odegaard needs to command his box, man. He has to command his box.
Yes, thank you, McBurney. If he had problems with McBurney, can you imagine with Saliba and Gabriel in the air? So that worries me. Set pieces. Thank you, Scott. McBurney was giving Van de Ven problems. He was giving Van de Ven problems. So if McBurney is doing it, I can only imagine Saliba and Gabriel in the air.
No slagging matches tonight. Ha ha ha. That's Dean. He lost his shit last night with Stefan.
Who?
With Stefan.
Yeah.
Anyway, they patched it up at the end. Going into this game, there's been a bit of fighting talk. Some making a bit of a war cry, rallying the troops. You ain't going to want to play us. You're playing us at the wrong time. Things like this. Now, do you think that's a positive?
Yeah.
Or do you think, dude, just humble? Could it potentially give Arsenal ammunition? Did you hear what this guy said about us? How do you see? I'll come to you first, Matt. How do you see Son's comments? Do you see it as this working to advantage, or is it something actually that was a bad idea?
I think it's going to work to our advantage. I I think Son seems to have the temperature of the squad. He's universally liked. So I think he's probably just saying what there seems to be this quiet assuredness of, if that's a word. I don't know if you watched the Romero interview, and they asked him a couple of questions, and there just seems to be this quiet confidence about not just the derby, but just how they're going about their business. So for me, I liked it. If you look at Postecoglou and after the game against Sheffield, and he said, the fans are getting really upbeat. Do you want them to temper their expectations? He was like, no, let them think what they want to. And I think he's going down that road. There's no ceiling. There's no kind of measurement. We're just going to do what we have to do in every game. Be us, So I liked it. I thought it was positive. Let's not always be the nice guy and the diplomat. Why not? Why can't we go there and win? Why not?
Rathish, do you think Son's comments will rally us, or do you think it'll end up turning into some kind of GIF meme that we just get bantered with for the next couple of months?
I'll probably lean towards the former. In all honesty, just like Matt, I think it'll work to us in a good light, because with him, he's not being too pig-headed. Obviously, he wants to have these expectations where right now there's so much unity within our fan base based on not only results but performances and the style of play we have under this manager. So there's every reason why we should be going into Sunday with good level of confidence without being too arrogant, if that makes sense. So it's about tempering it quite a bit. So the thing is, there's no reason why we can't cause them problems, because we like you said, still we're the second highest scorers in the Premier League. If we tick, we will have some chances. Because I feel whichever way it goes, the outcome, as long as we express ourselves, because it's the first big challenge against the top team away from home. Let's see if we rise to the occasion or not. So yeah, as far as him and Son goes, I think he's just saying the right things. He's not just saying random things just to trigger a reaction. That is for sure.
Mari, so the Son rally cry. Also, Big Ange today in the press conference, he put a bit of a rally cry out there as well. Do you think these are good things, or do you think it's just opening us up to be bantered and look at this lot, Spursy comments before the match, before they lost? Or is it a case of Sonny told you and told you this was coming? Which way is it going to play out?
I think this team, now that Ange is there, is a bit charismatic. And so it's good. It's good. It gets the team revved up. We've always questioned the team in regards to the badge. They disgrace us. They don't care. And now you hear these guys say rah 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 rah. Yes, it opens us up to be bantered. But I'd rather have that than the opposite. Now you just gotta back it up. The whole team has to back it up. Right? Van's like, we're going there fighting. Then you know what? All 11 players better be fighting on Sunday. They better be fighting on Sunday, because, not fighting to get a red card, but but you know what I mean. Fighting spirit, and so yeah, I have no problem with that as long as we back it up. And so, I saw the comments that Ange made and Sonny, and I'm revved. I'm ready to watch the game. I just hope the boys now, they, as we say from New York, no talk but no backup. Now you got to talk with backup. You got to back up that claim that what you're going to do. So, yeah.
All right, I've got a tough question for you guys now. So, Matt, you're going to go first. Unless someone wants to interject and grab answering first, okay? We're going into North London Derby with only a few players that have played in the North London Derby before, right? Now, is this good or is this bad? Because that Spursy, bottle jobby, let's just ghost the game squads of players. Well, they're not there now. So is it a fresh, different, you know what, we're not that mindset of the past? Or are we going there with such little experience and such a young team that it's almost like, you know, a bunch of school kids going into a candy shop for the first time and seeing candy everywhere and just losing the plot and just not managing the situation? How do you see it, Matt? Because this can go two ways with having, you know, this squad going there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you never know till you're in that moment. You never know. But I would like to think from the very short body of work that we've seen, 5 or 6 football matches, I think a lot of them don't have that experience of a defeat, or, as I say, you know, the Emirates in the Lions Den. So I look at Udogie, he just looks a very uncomplicated like footballer. You know, he just plays the same way. I just can't see all of them freezing. I just can't see it. You know, if you had Ben Davies or Sanchez or Tanganga in the lineup, they've seen this movie before. Whereas these guys, I just think there's a no fear. And I think, which hasn't been discussed yet, but I think this week of no football, I think Postecoglou is going to get them into such a headspace that I really think we're going to put in a performance, whether it results in a win. But I think Arsenal are going to come out of that game going, wow, that was tough.
Just on something you said there, the week of preparation and Ange getting them set. That was a pretty good performance by Arsenal midweek against PSV. Has that not given them a boost going into the game as well, though, Matt?
I think giving Arsenal a boost.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. You know, you want to... football's momentum, you know. Winning's a habit and losing's a habit. So you obviously want to be winning football matches. So, of course, they're going to get a lift from that. But Postecoglou's been consistent all the way through. We focus on what we're doing. And I just think he will get... He talked about the international break and how disruptive that was. And Romero came back. It didn't quite feel right and whatever. I think it's been a godsend these 6-7 days together. I think he will really have worked them. They'll be well drilled and they'll be ready. I really do. I actually think it will be one of those men in black with the pen, you know, and it will just be nothing else will matter. And they'll just go out on that pitch. I really do. I really
Here comes the Ange in black.
There you go. Agent Postecoglou. I really do. I think
Agent Ange. Ange.
I really do. You know, you look at it, Papa Sarr, you know.
Men in black.
Yeah, honestly, I think they've got that pen just before the whistle, play.
Oh man, Mari, what about you? Do you think the lack of previous failure in this team going into this game is to our benefit, or is it just a lack of experience, too much inexperience that will cost us?
I think it's to our benefit. You know me, I wasn't dead without. I wanted anybody, most players I want out who are part of that losing mentality that Poch and Conte and Jose talked about. Now all these guys, this is new to them. This is new. So they're coming in like, you know, wet behind the ears. They're like, all right, let's go. Let's go. Let's fight. Let's play. So I think it's good. It's good. You know, it's a big difference having Vendeven. It's like, all right, this is my first time. You know, I'm coming in, rather than Eric Dyer, who always pees his pants when there's a challenge. You know, so I like it. Udogie, you can see that he's going to be ready to ball. You know, this is his first time. You know. And it's you want those type of players in, you know, and not anybody who's there who remember some of those failing performances. So, yeah.
Rafish, do you think it's a positive like Mari and Matt are saying? Or do you think, you know what, we really are lacking experience in this game?
No, I think what the guys have said is very true, and we should all think. I'm falling into that camp. In the sense that when the pressure is off, we can perform. Like for instance, this Sunday, and what Matt said from the start of the show is bang on, because let all the ex-players, let all the pundits tip Arsenal to win, because it's a good thing, because we just go about our business, let them continue to underestimate us, and we will, and if we play to our max, we will continue to prove these people wrong for sure. So with Adoji, he's been a breath of fresh air this season. He's not afraid of going forward. He's not afraid of taking any risks whatsoever. Every time he goes forward, he can whip in the ball. Even if it doesn't come off, it's not the end of the world. That's the thing. You need to come out of your shell if you're attacking that left side. It's a learning curve. And what Ange said about having a young team, it comes to the territory, because, win, lose or draw, it's all part of the process, isn't it? It's about going in the right direction, going forward. I think the manager's not put a foot wrong. I think the only time he made a huge error was obviously the Carabao Cup selection, but it's done now. There's nothing, we can't go back to that. So other than that, it's all going in the right place.
My take on it, by the way, and I just want to answer this as well. Stephen, Man City came to Emirates and had 36 possession. Liverpool had 44. Liverpool lost that game with less possession, so that doesn't make up. Possession means nothing. It's what you do with possession. You can have low possession like Leicester did, where they had 35% possession for a whole season and win a league title, or you could be like Man City, who average 75% possession a season and win a treble. Possession means nothing. It's what you do with the possession. But my take on it is, I would rather go with a fresh team, because I don't ever want to see those deadbeats in this team again. Because you know what's going to happen. You already know, in your soul, right? You know what the outcome is going to be. The fact on Tottenham away, we had this conversation before the Carabao Cup. We said, a couple of changes, and I was arguing with everyone. No, don't make any changes. Put your strongest team out, put it to bed. If you start changing, we're going to lose. And I made this big hoo-ha about it. No. Just a couple of changes. I'm like, no, zero. Make zero changes. And in the end, I conceded, all right, just make one change. Just make one change. Look what happened, right? I don't want them anywhere near this club. We know what the outcome is before the game starts as Spurs fans, right? So I'd rather try with a fresh bunch and fail than the existing bunch who I know are going to fail, right? That's my take on it. And what I'll say is, there was a team once, I don't know how old everyone is in the comments. I mean, I'm sure Matt will remember. I don't know how old you are, Rafish. So there was a team once called Leeds United in the Premier League who had an ex-Gooner as their manager, right? Is it Linegan? I think it was. Was it Linegan? O'Leary. They were young, they were fresh, and they went to the Champions League semi-final that season. They were blitzing everyone in the Premier League. They could have won the league. They fell short. They were fearless and they were fresh, and they just went every game, we're Leeds and this is how we do it. And I kind of feel Spurs reminds me a little bit of that at the moment. It reminds me a little bit of that team where there's really, really good players, and it's just, look, we just don't care. We just want to play. And I'd rather that than see Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, Højbjerg, these players come on and I know what's going to happen. I literally know, if Lloris comes on, he's going to drop a ball. As good as the goalie he was, he's going to cost us, right? So, I'm glad we're going with this squad there, Let's just try something different. Yeah, let's just try something different, because the other way is all fake. Let's try something different.
If you, in Postecoglou's interview, he said, this is not going to work unless we make a change. We have to make a change.
Yeah, I agree.
We can't recycle failure, You just can't keep switching Sanchez for Dyer and Dyer for Tanganga. We have to make a clean break. And as painful as it was, obviously letting go of Sanchez with no time to replace him, Postecoglou said, look, there's no point just having players here. Just for the sake of it. So I just think it's brave, and to dare is to do. So we've made our decision. He's not going to make the cut. Off you go.
Yeah. And Richard, by the way, not Richard, sorry, beg your pardon, wrong person. It was, where was it? I saw a comment. Where was it? Someone said they hope we're not like Leeds because they went bankrupt and got relegated. Where's that comment gone? Can anyone see the comment? All right, was it me? Oh, there it is. Yeah, Daniel, right. I hope not. Leeds got relegated a few seasons. Right, Leeds got relegated because they had to sell all their best players because they borrowed money to buy players. We're self-sustainable. That's not happening to us, right? Completely different business model.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen to us. In fact, if Leeds kept spending, they would have won everything. But they had like a 90 million or 180 million pounds of monies owed because they who borrows money from the bank to buy players? I mean, it's an asset that can fluctuate in price. It's not like a secure investment. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, Baduka, he was their striker. They had Harry Kewell, Rio Ferdinand,
Alan Smith.
Who was that? Alan Smith. He was a horrible player, but a good player.
Yes,
Who was the
yeah.
goalie they had? Was it Reesdale? Ripley?
No, they had Martin, Nigel Martin.
Martin, yeah, that's it. They had two good fullbacks. They had Harry Kewell on the other side. Was it the Irish lad? They had the
Kelly.
Irish guy, Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah, they were a good side, man. They were
Yeah.
a good side, that Leeds United team.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's have a quick look at the Premier League because this is going to be a Premier League review show, but we've done quite a bit of Spurs Arsenal this weekend. Obviously, it's the big game. Let me get the league table up. I did have it up a minute ago. Have I deleted it? All right, guys, have a chat for a minute whilst I find the Premier League table. talk about whatever you want.
No, that's fine. No worries, man. Yeah, so Matt, Mari, have you seen Angie's interview on BBC?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it and I've seen bits and clips. I guess I need to see it, but I guess there was a clip where
It's on iPlayer, by the way. It's full duration. They got that.
You can carry on talking about that. It's okay. I'm just getting it up on the screen.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so on the iPlayer, they have the full Ange interview. It's 20 minutes or so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, he's
Was
really...
it on iPlay? Is it on iPlay, did you say?
Yeah, iPlayer. Yeah, that's right.
I might have a look at that then. I haven't seen it. Is it worth watching? Was it a good one?
Yeah,
No,
it's really good.
Really good, yeah.
Because sometimes these things are a bit scripted, and I quite like it when they're quite open and transparent. The conversation like this, like when it's more like this, I prefer it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so these aren't the fixtures; these are the wrong week. Let me get the right week. Here we go. There's the right week. All right, so I'm not even going to talk about Man City Forest because that's just a home banker for me. Palace Fulham, not interested. Luton Wolves, not interested. Brentford Everton. But what do you guys make of Burnley Man United? Because Burnley are at the bottom of the league. They do play good football when they get going. Man United are absolutely a shambles, but they did okay against Bayern Munich. They pushed Bayern, but then Bayern Munich, every time they attacked, they should have scored more. They hit the post twice. I kind of felt Bayern Munich never got out of second gear.
Yeah.
But do you think potentially Man United might slip up here, even a draw? Or are we... Nah, Man United should beat this one, surely.
I think with Man United, as far as I'm concerned, I think there's so much turmoil over there, like not just on the field, but off the field with the Sancho situation, the allegations against Anthony in terms of the assault, etc., etc. I mean, it's spilling onto the field. And recently, defensively, they've been leaking goals for fun. The Bayern Munich game, they did lose 4-3 and they did put some effort in, but it's more to do with the fact, like you said, that Bayern did need to get out of second gear to win that game. It's just Man United all over the place. And in terms of tomorrow night, Burnley will be up for it big time. I think Vincent Kompany, ex-Man City legend, of course, their manager, he will want to get one over them. And if they were to lose, then serious questions have to be asked of Erik ten Hag, for sure. I mean, even a draw at Burnley is no good result. They have to go all out and win. But it could be a banana skin. It really could.
Mari, what's your take on it?
Right now, if they were at home, I said, okay, United should be able to pull off, but United right now, they're in shambles. Yeah, they came back against Bayern, but I think Bayern knew that they're going to win the game, to be honest with you. And so that's why they were able to score some late goals. I agree with Alan Shearer. I don't know if you saw Alan Shearer's interview. He says that Man United starts from the top. Right now, they don't really know if they're selling the club or they're keeping the club. They don't know if those potential owners are going to take over the club. There is just disarray. And so when you have disarray at the top, there's no hiding it. It filters. It filters to the club. And right now, United, it's just they're in disarray right now. And so it's at Burnley. This could be drop points for United. This could be drop points for United.
So both Ratish and Mari saying this is a potential banana skin. Matt, I'm not going to ask you what you think of this match. I'm going to ask you something different, related though. Would you take Jadon Sancho at Spurs?
No.
Why not?
No.
He was fantastic at Dortmund. He's good for England. He scored a good goal against us last season at White Hart Lane.
Yeah, I think the direction that we're going in, the team ethos that Postecoglou is building, I think that could get undone by bringing in somebody like, we've just got rid of Ndombele, who rumours are is not always the most prompt to turn up for training and so forth and so forth. So for me, there's more reasons against it than for it. I don't see, does he get into our best 11? I'd say no. The way he'd probably be one of our highest earners. Is he? I mean, obviously I don't know him, but the kind of suggestion is he's not the best trainer in the world. We've just got rid of people like Ndombele and so forth. So we were going in the wrong direction. So for me, it's a clear no. No, thank you.
No, thank you. Talking about one mudded, embarrassing football club, let's go on to another one. Chelsea are playing Aston Villa. Emery this year has been a bit up and down. 1 minute they're doing well, next minute they're getting spanked, then they're doing okay, then they lose. They're a bit indifferent this year. Chelsea are consistently bad. But they are at home. They've got to get points at some point, surely. But they just can't score goals. They simply can't put the ball in the back of the net. Is this going to be an Aston Villa, Unai Emery special, or is Poch going to, rectify things at Chelsea this weekend? This could be an absolute banger of a game. Let's go in reverse, Matt. What's your take on this game?
I fancy Villa. I really do. I just think Chelsea they're in disarray.
Matt, remind everyone where you live. Where do you live?
I live in Birmingham.
All right.
Yeah, I live in
the
Birmingham.
home of Aston Villa.
No, honestly, Chelsea can't score. And yeah, I just can't see how, if you look at the form guide, I just can't see how Chelsea win that football match on the last, the 6 games of this season. How did Chelsea win that game?
Well, let's look at the form, actually. Let's have a quick look. So form table, where are Chelsea? Bloody hell, 14th, Jesus. So they've drawn, lost, won, lost, drawn, and Aston Villa have lost, won, lost, won. Yes, so Villa are in much better form. Much better form. Okay.
I can't see it.
Mari. Is
Yep.
Poch gonna get some credibility back, or is he gonna sink further in the mud?
He's gonna have to wait till next week because I didn't see them beating Brighton, and Brighton knocked them out the park. And I see Villa, who is my dark horse team in the Premier League. I see Villa doing the same. I don't see it. I see Villa winning 2-0.
Villa winning 2-0. Rapish, is it another cloudy day for Chelsea, or are they gonna see a bit of sunshine on the weekend?
I think with Sunday, it's going to be a very interesting one because with Aston Villa, I mean, by far they're a much better team than Chelsea based on current form this season. Although saying that, they did lose in midweek in the Conference League, so they want to get a reaction from that. They don't want to use that loss to deter them. I think Chelsea just can't score. Like, that's their biggest problem. But at the same time, like throughout the 5 games, they haven't really put in any sort of performance. The only time you'd say was that victory against a team like Luton, who, in my opinion, would struggle to beat Derby's lowest points tally in Premier League history. But yeah, that's the thing. Like at the listen, I mean, as rival fans, it's good to see Chelsea in the mud because they're the way they pipe up, like the way they belittle us in the past. Like it's good to see them struggle. Like, but yeah, I'm with Mari. I think they're gonna have to wait for a while to get a win. I think Villa will probably nick this 2-1 for sure. I think after the international break, they got a hellacious run of fixtures like Arsenal, they got us, Man City, etc., etc. So the future's looking bleak for them.
I just want to say I don't understand what happened with Lukaku. I just don't understand why would you not try and get a tune out of Lukaku?
I've no idea,
It's
man.
true.
Like,
Do you know what? When he's right, because when you're desperate for someone to score goals, Lukaku, he's not rubbish. He's better than Jackson. That Jackson just looks a mess at the moment.
It just baffles me. He's already your player. You've got a new manager, so you can't argue that, he fell out with the manager don't fancy him. Just for the life of me, unless you get a Kane why do you not just go back to Lukaku and say, give me till January? Just give me the first half of the year. Let's see how we get on.
The next game on the list is Arsenal-Tottenham. Now, we've spoken about it. Let's just do a prediction, okay? I'll go first. Mine's more hopeful than what. Look, I think Arsenal will probably just edge it because they're better than us and they're at home. But I do believe if Spurs turn up, we can get a draw. So I'm I'm going to be positive and say 2-2. I think I'm going to go for 2-2. Matt, what's your prediction score-wise?
Arsenal 1, Tottenham 2.
Ooh, he's gone for the win. He's gone for the win,
man. You got to admire it.
What about you, Maury?
It's a tall order against Arsenal. It has been done since 2010 in the league. They're definitely, better than us, the second best team in England. I see us scoring 3-3. Open game.
3-3 will be an absolute emotional nightmare for every fan. That is going to be, oh my God. Rafish, what are you going for?
Yeah, I mean, just like the guys, I think there's going to be goals in this game. And obviously it depends on how we get on from the start. But we are capable of causing them problems because it's the first big test away from home, and we want to see how far we've come in a short space of time. So I'm going to go like you, Stel and Maury. I'm going for a score draw 2-2.
So we've got 2-2, 3-3. Matt's gone for a 2-1 Spurs win. In the comments, we've got Spurs to win 2-1. 2-2, Spurs to win 2-1, Spurs 2-2, or to lose 3-2, Arsenal to win 5-1, Tottenham 3-1. The general feeling is from Spurs fans is a draw. Jamie Gitz put Arsenal 4-3. Was he put 4-3 to Tottenham? I think a draw is the most popular scoreline. Liverpool West Ham. Now Liverpool, they haven't lost in about 15 games. You know, they're on a really, really good run. West Ham as well have got off to a fantastic start to the season.
Can I go first on this?
Sorry?
Can I go first on this one?
You can. But, Murray, all I want to say is this is at Anfield. So...
no, I'm going to give my prediction.
Yeah,
Liverpool 7, West Ham 0.
Are you bantering, or that's what you think is going to happen?
All right, I'll be realistic. 5-0.
What's the difference?
Liverpool 5-0 over West Ham. West Ham is due
7-0,
beat, and Liverpool is in fine form. I see Liverpool dropping 5 goals, 5-0 over West Ham. And you know what? To tell you the truth, I wouldn't be surprised if they score 7 on West Ham. I would not be surprised if they go 7.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Mari changing his prediction from 7-0 to 5-0 is like what? Did anyone see last night's show? What Alex Box Office did? Did anyone see what he did?
No.
He sat there arguing with us, calling Udogie overrated. You lot are putting too much hype on him. We haven't seen much. And we're arguing, right? The Arsenal fans are arguing with him as well, saying, nah, man, he's been good. We're all arguing with him. He's like, nah. We get to combined 11. Who's your left back, Alex? He goes, Udogie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
It's just built contradiction, isn't it?
Rafish, we were arguing for 20 minutes over this, and we get to combined 11. 40 minutes later,
He
picks Udogie.
I think Nunes scores a hat trick. He scores a hattie.
Oh,
man. 2 goals for Jota, 3 by Nunez, 1 by Salah. I think Salah's good, just get plenty of assists. And 1 goal, so 1 from the midfield. Maybe Shawball. I can't even pronounce the guy's name in the midfield. I think Liverpool's going to pop West Ham.
Stop his life. Yeah, I think they will as well. Rathish, what's your prediction for this one?
I think Liverpool will win by 2 clear goals, 3-1. I mean, again, just like other games, it's going to be interesting because they both played on Thursday at the same time or different times in Europa League. So they have 2.5 days to prepare. But as we all agreed, it's Anfield, the home factor. Liverpool have been in fantastic form, not just this season, but towards the latter stages of last season. And for me, I think if they keep a full team with little to no injuries, I think they could be a surprise package when it comes to challenging Man City and Arsenal for the league. I mean, Jurgen Klopp has experience. He knows what it takes to try and get back to the top again. So yeah, Liverpool have too much quality for West Ham. Yeah,
Matt, you going for Liverpool win as well?
Yeah, I think Liverpool. Obviously at home, they're formidable. They're not quite right, and I think Klopp will probably admit that. I think the balance of the midfield and obviously an influx of signings. I'm not sure that setup's quite right at the moment. McAllister looks a little bit off it at the moment, and defensively they look a little bit shaky. But yeah, I think that's a home win. Scoreline, I would say probably 2-0. 2-0 to Liverpool, but I'm not quite sure about them for the title. I don't think they're right.
Guys, there's 170 odd people watching. Can you all please give us a like? Hit the like button, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe, hit the join membership, hit the everything. Just start hitting things. Just 2 fingers, just everywhere. All right. Brighton and Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Newcastle. Not too bothered. Let's have a look at the league table. Actually, let's have a quick look at the league table as it stands right now. Let's zoom in on that top half, actually. So as it stands right now, City are top, and then you've got 3 teams all on equal points: Tottenham, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Brighton just behind by 1 point. West Ham just behind by 3 points. And then you've got almost the kind of battle for Europe between West Ham, Villa, Nottingham Forest, not doing too bad compared to their rivals, Palace, Fulham. But then look at this: Newcastle, United, and Chelsea. What a bad start from these clubs. Newcastle in the Champions League last season, they finished top 4. Man United, Champions League as well, 13th. Chelsea just carrying on where they were from last year. I mean, it's looking grim for Luton. It's looking grim for Burnley. It's looking grim for Everton and Sheffield. Wolves, I think, will be okay because they actually play good football, Wolves.
Yeah.
I think they just need I can see them being okay.
The Wolves, have you seen the guy up front, the Brazilian guy? What's his name?
Cunha.
If he could score, he'd be a 60, 70 million pound player. He does everything right until he gets in front of goal.
Yeah. And you know what? That is the difference between Wolves, I think, being in the top 8 and Wolves being in the bottom 5. I mean, they destroyed Man United. Mind you, they got mugged off by VAR in that game. But they've been good. Even against Liverpool, they gave Liverpool a good game, and then they just kind of... Liverpool just went into overdrive and took them apart. But when you look at the current top 6, I'll be honest with you. I know it's early doors. I don't think Chelsea will recover and get into that top 6. I don't. I think Man United maybe because they've got injuries coming back. Then you could say the same for Chelsea. But I'm only saying it because Man United did it last season. But I think when you look at this top 6, 100% Man City and Arsenal will finish in that top 4. And I actually think Liverpool will. I think Liverpool will. Because one, they've fixed their midfield, and also they can rotate a lot more being in the Europa Cup as opposed to the Champions League because it's an easier competition. And then I think it's between Tottenham, Brighton, I think Villa as an outside bet as well. I think it's between us for the next 4th place. And I would say the fact we're not in Europe probably makes us favourites. Because Brighton had 1 European game and Ajax Athens beat them at home.
And they lost, yeah.
What's your take on it so far? I mean, it's still early doors. We can't predict anything, but
I just think like there's going to be one team that's going to slip right in, almost like Newcastle, and it could be Brighton, and it could be Aston Villa. In regards to the top 3,
Murray, could it be Tottenham?
It could, but there's a lot of things that have to go our way. And right now, we had our first big injury, right? Though Perisic is not starter, but he was a different element to the game. Now, we could put him in the last 10 minutes if we need equalizer, maybe, with Charleston or something, definitely, whip it in the box and we could get a header goal. But now that element is gone. We need to be lucky that nothing happens to Romero, Van de Ven, Udoji, because Ben Davies is right behind him. Sessignon is behind him. What happens if Madison gets injured? So it takes a lot of luck. Whereas Brighton and Aston Villa, they have a better team. We may have a better 11, but I'm talking about overall team, they may have a better team, better squad to be able to rotate, be able to overcome injuries. The Arsenal losing Martinelli, okay, Trossard. For us, if we lose Madison, if we lose Sonny, oh my goodness, we are really in dog doo-doo, in trouble, so we have to be lucky. And if January, where we traditionally are not the greatest, in getting people, will Daniel Levy and the board get more, ammunition for the rest of the season? We can't say. We can't say. We can only hope. So, it's right now at City, Arsenal, Liverpool definitely top three. The fourth year, we could put us in the battle for it. Us winning it, time will tell.
What about you, Matt?
At the moment, momentum. We seem to be very well drilled, very well organised. Everybody knows where they should be with the ball and without the ball. So on current form, you could argue fixtures have been kind to us. But yeah, on current form, we look in good shape. So yeah, I would say at the moment, 5-6 games in, we would look like one of the favourites for that fourth spot, give or take. If Liverpool slip up, maybe even third. But it's going to be, as Mari said, injuries have got to be kind to us, because if we do lose that spine, if something happens to that spine, you could argue Bentancur potentially can come in. But then if you're going into Skip or Dyer or Ben Davis have got to play 10 games, it's not looking good for us. So we got to be lucky with injuries.
Yeah.
Rathish, what about you? Let me look at the table.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's been a really incredible start. I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again. We don't want to take a small sample size and go OTT about it. Let's say like we fast forward to end of October, beginning November. If we continue to be up there or thereabouts, then we could have a totally different conversation. If we get through the Arsenal Liverpool games unscathed, then we can slowly start to dream in a positive way. Because during October, I think we've got fixtures that are pretty kind to us, games that we should be winning based on current form and the way we're performing. I mean, so I would agree with Mari and Matt as well that City, Arsenal, Liverpool in no particular order would be my predicted top three, and fourth is wide open. So it could be us, Brighton, Villa, even. And even though they've had a bad start, I'm not going to write Man United off just yet, because if they get players back from injury and if they get their act together, like perform better, then they're still within a chance of fourth place. So yeah, it's still very early, but we just have to keep going in the same direction and look upwards to the table.
I was in Cyprus in August on holiday, and after watching the pre-season and a couple of early games out there, one of the guys I was with, Gerd, he's a big Arsenal fan, and I said to him, Spurs are going to challenge for top four this year. And he laughed at me, and I said, you ain't see, we're going to challenge. I'm not saying we'll get it. I'm not saying we won't, but we are going to challenge for top four. And he goes, oh, shut up, whatever. You wait and see. I said, all right, come business end of the season, last 10 games, I bet Spurs are knocking on the door. And I said, we'll revisit this conversation start of April. And I stick by that. I honestly think Spurs will challenge for top four. I'm not being knee-jerk. I'm not being overreactionary. For me, top four means nothing. I don't care about top four. It doesn't bother me. But I think we will challenge for it. Guys, we are going to wrap it up because the Friday show is only an hour and a half. But I want to let everyone have their final say before the North London derby. Let's go this way around. Rathish, your final words, brother.
Final words would be just give 100% and let's just, make their afternoon a living hell. So just bring on Sunday.
Bring on Sunday. Mari.
Yeah, man. Guys, going in. Let's fight. Let's try to get a result. If we get a draw, okay. If we get a victory, yes. I'll have that bottle of wine ready to sip on, celebrate, and man, let's go. Let's go, man. It's almost like wait for Christmas Day. It's just, I'm just wait for the game, man. I'm nervous. I'm ready for the stream along. Let's go. Let's go.
Matt, what's your final thoughts?
Yeah, just just keep doing what we're doing. Keep playing the same style of football, be brave on the ball, be brave off the ball, press them in the right areas. And as Pastor Kogu says, we never stop. So just keep going. You know, I genuinely believe that if we can break that press, if we can beat that press, we could be in for a really, really good afternoon. If we don't beat that press, then it's a tough game for us because they'll pen us in, and you know, so many young players making their debuts, we could start to make mistakes. But that first crucial moment when that Vicaro rolls the ball out to Basuma and Udogie, if they get past that first offensive player, it could be very good. So I'm really excited. Those are the key players for me. If Basuma and Udogie, who are our ball carriers, they get past their man early on and they get that confidence, we could do something historic.
All I'm going to say is two things. One, no, this isn't the comment I wanted to bring up. That was a good, this one here. Paul Merson's comments. I'm not going to talk about them until he leaves rehab because clearly he's gone back into rehab, that guy. So that's my response to Paul Merson. I've said the same thing on every stream I've been on and on tonight. I don't care what happens at the Emirates. I just want to see my Tottenham turn up. That's all I care about. If they turn up and they give everything they've got, I can't ask for anything else after 6 games of a new manager. That's all I want to see. If I don't see that, I'm genuinely going to be gutted, man. I will be absolutely gutted if we don't turn up. That will bother me. I don't know what I'm going to do on Monday night on the live show. I actually don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, people, thank you for watching tonight. God bless you all. As always, make sure you smash a like, subscribe, follow the channel. There's going to be live shows tomorrow on our channel. There's going to be multiple shows on Sunday. We've got the live watch along, the post-match show after, and analysis after that. Will Stewart's going live late at night as well. And then we've got the Monday night podcast, the bread and butter of the show. Come and check it all out. It's going to be a busy weekend. I'll be live at the Emirates as well. Believe you me, if we're winning, God help them, because I'm going to lose my mind. And it's going to be all over the internet. If we lose, I'm not posting anything, like nothing. I'll be wearing a balaclava trying to get out of there. But Matt, thank you for coming on tonight. Mari, big up as always. Rafish, thanks for coming on. Listen, guys, if you're up for coming on every Friday, 10 o'clock, you're all welcome. Because I'm probably going to make it a regular thing, 10 o'clock, just an hour, preview the weekend. So, you know, happy for you guys to jump on, not an issue. Absolutely. Patrick, big up to you as well, my man. Guys, listen, it's almost there. Just another day or two of streaming, and then we're going to find out what's what. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.
Cheers.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks, guys.
Come on, you Spurs. Thank you very much.
Mike,
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.